Certainly. Below is a historical fiction story set between 1525 and 1530, a time when European explorers were just beginning to encounter the indigenous peoples of North America. The Lost Expedition of San Miguel, 1525 to 1531. 1525, the promise of new lands. The Spanish ship San Miguel cut through the Atlantic waves, its sails straining against the wind. Captain Alvaro de Mendoza, a hardened veteran of Cortés' conquest of Mexico, gripped the rail as the coastline of La Florida came into view. King Charles V had granted him permission to explore these uncharted lands, seeking gold, glory, and a passage to Asia. Among his crew was Father Marcos, a Dominican friar determined to convert the native peoples, and a young mapmaker, Diego de Leon, who dreamed of etching his name in history. But as they landed near what is now South Carolina, they were met not by cities of gold, but by wary Timucua warriors. 1526, the first colony fails. Months passed as the Spaniards built a crude fort, naming it San Gabriel. Hunger and disease ravaged the men, and the Timucua, initially curious, grew hostile after Mendoza demanded food and labor. One night, arrows whistled from the trees, killing 3 sentries. "We must leave," Diego urged, but Mendoza refused to admit defeat. Then, fever took hold. By winter, half the men were dead. When a storm wrecked their only remaining ship, the survivors knew their fate was sealed. 1527, among the natives the Timucua captured the starving Spaniards. Mendoza, defiant, was executed, but Diego and Father Marcos were spared. The tribe's elder, Catawba, saw value in the strangers, Diego for his skill with maps, and Marcos for his strange symbols, writing. Over months, Diego learned their language. He marveled at their knowledge of the land, rivers that led to great mountains, trade routes stretching far inland. Marcos, though, grew obsessed with converting them, angering the shaman, Yaha. 1528, the division. When Marcos destroyed a sacred totem, Yaha demanded his death. Diego pleaded for mercy, but the tribe exiled the friar into the wilderness. Diego stayed, marrying Catawba's daughter, Ayana. He began to see the land not as something to conquer, but as a home. Meanwhile, Marcos wandered until he encountered another Spanish expedition, Confilo de Narvaez's doomed mission. The friar, half-mad, warned of hostile tribes, but Narvaez ignored him. Within a year, most of that expedition would perish. 1530, the choice of Spanish slave raid struck the Timucua, burning villages. Diego fought alongside his new kin, but when he recognized the attackers as his countrymen, he stood frozen. Ayana fell to a musket shot. The Spaniards, seeing a white man among the natives, captured Diego. "You live as a savage," their captain sneered. Diego, broken, was taken back to Cuba. But as the ship sailed away, he gazed at the fading shore, knowing his true home was lost forever. Epilogue: Diego's maps survived, influencing later explorers. But his story, of a man caught between two worlds, was forgotten. The Timucua, like many tribes, would soon face greater invasions. And the land itself would bear witness to the clash of empires yet to come. Would you like any historical details expanded or adjusted? This era is fascinating because it was just before major colonization efforts, but full of small, dramatic encounters like this. Please subscribe my YouTube channel for more videos.